Part 1. Many days after the shock thawed and grief swept through those that had lost loved ones to the pit started to talk amongst each other. They wanted to bury their loved ones but feared the consequences if they dared to set foot there. One indignant widow stated she wouldn't let the witch have her husband even if she had to drag him from the pit herself. She marched over demanding access, and after some reluctance the guards allowed her to go down but insisted she take a lamp, much to her annoyance. The others gathered around the pit as she was lowered and eventually unable to see her despite it being daylight. They waited and strained their ears, but all was silent until a blood-curdling scream came from below. They flinched and looked at each other with fear and uncertainty of what to do until the widow begged to be brought up. They rushed to do so, and when she came back up they were shocked. She had white streaks in her hair and a look of terror on her face. She warned everyone not to remove any of the remains from the pit. The dead would not rest and would rise up to wreak havoc on the village. After that day the widow was never the same. No one dared to go into the pit from then on, and when she died mysteriously in her home it was proof to them all that the witch's curse was real. Part 2. Many years passed after that. Innovation, religion, and a new generation had swept through the land. The tragedy became an urban legend dubbed the massacre. A bloodthirsty prisoner, who was to be sentenced to death, slaughtered and ate the other prisoners so they stranded him in the pit until he died, was the most prominent variation. The town had long since been abandoned with nature, having reclaimed the land. But there were other communities some distance away. Some boys walked through, taking in the sights in silence like they were in a museum. Then they arrived at the pit. Two of them carrying a large ladder lowered it in while another took a deep breath and stepped forward clutching the straps of his backpack. He turned to the others, "See you guys in the morning." They all nodded, and he made his careful descent down. He banged on the ladder once he was on the ground, pulled out a flashlight, and watched as his one way out disappeared. It was going to be a long night, but his backpack was full of supplies, including a way to start a fire. He turned around and jumped a little, seeing a skeleton not far away with pink flowers growing around it. Begonias, maybe. He didn't dwell on it for too long. He found a space to hunker down in and hoped the night would go quickly.